Hey, welcome to Focus Today, and it's always fun to have Tim Elbert in the house, better known as the Timinator, but all around cool dude. And he owns the Four Seasons Nursery out on Crater Lake Highway in Medford, and he's here to take your questions about what you want to do in the yard. This is going to be a perfect weekend to do all the fall things you want to do, because we're kind of in between weather systems, and you're going to have some sunshine and mild temperatures. So give us a call. By the way, everybody that calls in, your name's going in the hat for this eclectic flower pot. What do you got in there?
Well, of course, we have a beautiful white mum.
Yeah.
And then these are violas.
Violas?
Yeah.
I thought they were pansies.
Well, pansies are violas, but not all violas are pansies. So,
of course, I knew that.
So these will have a smaller flower, and these are kind of like the Johnny Jump Ups,
Yeah.
except these have a white and purple instead of the yellow and purple of the Johnny Jump Up.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so they're gorgeous little flowers on those. And then this big spiky green thing here that kind of reminds me of me in the morning.
Yeah.
It is called green sedge. It's a type of ornamental grass.
Okay, so we're not going to tax that.
Yeah, it's ornamental. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I'll tell you what. As you call in and ask your questions, your name's going in a hat, and somebody's going to win this beautiful flower bowl. But now listen, here's the new number. This is the number to get through to be on the air. 541-776-5770. That's the new number just to get on the air to ask Tim a question. 541-776-5770. Call that number. Ask Tim your question. Your name's going to go in the hat, and what a fun thing! I mean, this is great. You can put that out your front door and have all kinds of conversation with it.
Oh yeah, they're great on the patio.
Keep going.
Oh yeah, this should go all winter. Of course, the mum will stop blooming, towards the end of this month. But then you could just pop that out and drop in a kale or some more of the violas or something if you wanted to, and have beautiful color through the rest of the season.
All right, so there you go. 541-776-5770 is the number to call to ask Tim your question and then get your name in the hat. We did have one person call. Rhonda's driving right now. So Rhonda, keep both hands on the wheel. We'll ask the question for you. When is the best time to move rhubarb? Well, from the garden to the pie.
Well, from garden to pie, that's going to be spring.
Okay.
But if you're trying to move it in your garden, the best time, now I said the best time, is in March, when it's still dormant just before it starts to flush and produce that new growth. You dig it up then and move it. Now, you can also move it any time that it's dormant. So anytime from the first part of December clear through towards the end of March. If you're getting towards the late March, you're going to want to get that done right away. But you've got plenty of time. It's coming up to be time for that. Now also, when you are digging and moving rhubarb, it's a great time to divide it. Rhubarb has these big, thick, heavy, not roots, but root masses.
Okay.
And you can take and chop those. They're real easy to chop and divide it, and you could have several different plants.
And more pie.
And more pie, yes. And then be careful when you replant that you don't plant it very deep. You want to make sure that you're leaving it at the same level it came out of the ground as. Rhubarb, if it's planted too deeply, will rot and die. So
okay,
watch that.
All right, if you got any further questions for Tim, the number is 541-776-5770, and get your question in, and then your name's going in the hat, and somebody's going to win this beautiful flower bowl in front of us here. All right, hi Denise, you have a question about hummingbird moth?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you'd ever seen one before.
I have not seen, well, I take it back. I've seen pictures. I know what one looks like, but I haven't actually come across one yet.
Well, they're pretty spectacular. I came home, it was the beginning of summer, and I came home and I've got a dianthus in the corner that was in full bloom. And it was about 9:30 at night, and I came around the corner where my headlights hit that plant, and I thought, well, hummingbirds wouldn't be out in the middle of the night, or late at night.
Yeah.
And so I parked my car, went back in and got the flashlight and came out, and they were just amazing. And,
oh yeah.
So I was asking, I was at Weimar the next day and was asking the garden, the lady in the garden department about that, and she said that is a hummingbird moth.
Yeah.
And she said they're pretty rare to see.
Yeah, you don't see them very often, but they're big.
They are big.
They're quite large for a moth, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Denise.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. The phone number is 776-5770. See, I'm not even used to it yet. So that's the number, the new number to get through to ask Tim a question on the air. 541-776-5770. And when you call in and you ask the question to Tim about what you should be doing in the yard this weekend, your name's going in the hat to win this beautiful flower bowl of all kinds of flowers here and a little tall crazy grass right out of the top of it. All right. Hey, by the way, we're going into cooler temperatures. Everything's green but my lawn. So am I like in... death zone
Are you
here?
starting to see some green happen with
Around some areas, yes.
Okay.
Some of it's come back, but there's some that, really got scorched through this summer, and I'm thinking, well, I'm probably going to have to do something there.
Yeah, you're going to have to cut back on the amount of lawn you have.
Yeah. Well, this is in the spot that I do want it, so I guess I'll have to rough it up. Should I? Well,
yeah.
Is it even worth thatching or just kind of rake it over and seed it?
If your lawn hasn't been there for very long and the length of time it's been there, it hasn't done well.
Right.
So in your situation, yeah, just kind of rake it up good and throw some seed down.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me squeeze in one more before we take a break. Hi, Dan. What's going on with your mushrooms?
I can't get rid of them. Keep digging them out, and they keep coming back.
Yeah, mushrooms will do that. They produce a spore that is very, very tiny, and that spore is like a seed, and it will produce much more fungus. And a lot of times what we're seeing when we see mushrooms is just the fruiting part of the fungus. The rest of the fungus is in the soil. So all we're doing is getting rid of the fruiting body and not getting rid of the fungus itself. So the best thing to do for that is to create an environment that is not habitable by the mushrooms, the fungus, and that's easiest way to do it is to change the pH of the soil, sweeten it, raise the pH up, add some lime, and that usually will stop those mushrooms from coming back up. So you may take a couple of applications just to get enough down to bring that pH up high enough, but that should stop them.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Dan. All right, let me see if I can squeeze in one more. Hi, Sharon. You got wild violets going on?
I have wild violets that have taken over my flower bed, and I'm hoping there's some way to get rid of them.
Oh, so this is a bad thing.
It's not. So they're pretty, but there's other things that are not coming up anymore.
Yes, yeah, they can be kind of invasive. If they're in your flower bed, there's nothing that will selectively kill those without killing off your other flowers. And so as far as a spray goes, not much there that you can work with. So the main thing is going to be just kind of digging them out. Once you've got them under control, mostly, when they start to come back, you can spot spray with a little Killzall or something like that. But really, there's nothing selectively that you can just spray over the whole thing. It'll kill those off and not kill your other flowers.
Okay. Well, I guess I got my work cut out for me.
Yeah. What you need is a teenager with who's done something wrong.
Yeah, who's on parole.
Yeah.
I'll have to do some searching.
Yeah.
Visions of my childhood.
Yeah, there we go. And if you have a problem finding one, let me know. I'll get you a couple. Okay.
I'll do.
All right. Thank you, Sharon. All right, we got to scoot on here. It's let me take a quick break. By the way, Tim's with us here the whole hour and taking your question. What a great weekend. This is perfect.
Yeah, it's
we may have a little
weekend.
rain tonight. We're supposed to have some sun breaks through the weekend with the temperatures in the low 70s, and then it drops down into the 50s with rain on Monday. So if you're going to do it, this is the weekend.
Oh, yeah. Great time to get that fertilizer and soil activator on the lawn if you haven't done that yet.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, here's the number, 541-776-5770. Call and get your name in the hat for this beautiful pot of flowers here.
Hi, I'm Paulina, and I work at theDove TV. Did you know that when you support theDove TV, you have a profound impact, not only in our community, but around the world? It's your continued support that takes the inspiration and hope in the programs we produce and makes them available to the thousands of people who are watching these videos online every week. Help bring encouragement and hope to our valley and beyond by making a secure online donation today at our website, theDove.us.
All right, welcome back. And Tim Elbert's with us from the Four Seasons Nursery, and it's going to be a great weekend to do those last-minute fall things in your yard, from fertilizing, the trimming, to moving things around, and add some color. And by the way, you still got some?
Yeah,
pansies and mums out there?
You know, it is. It's starting to thin out. So if you're looking at trying to get some flowers and some color in the yard, a perfect weekend for that. Right. We still have lots of pansies. They're looking beautiful right now, and there's still a few mums and some kale. But the selection is dwindling. So time to get that done.
All right, and you're open from
9 to 5 every day. Starting next month, we'll be closing on Sundays. So
by order of his pastor.
Yeah.
His pastor wants to see him back in church, so that's a good thing. All right, here's the number if you want to call and ask Tim a question and get your name in the hat for this beautiful mixed bowl of flowers here. 541-776-5770. 541-776-5770. All right. Bill, thanks for your patience. What's going on?
Yeah, what we have is when you walk across our grass and when you mow the grass, a orange rusty residue ends up on your mower and your feet. And I was just wondering what that was and if there's a way we could get rid of it. It happened for several years and usually comes on in the fall.
Well, there is a rust that attacks the grasses, especially the fescues this time of year. So that could be what you've got going on. Is the lawn turning kind of an orangey color?
He dropped off. Yeah, he just said it kind of gets dusty when he mows.
Yeah, and that's usually a rust. And the best way to control that is with a product called F-Stop. And it's a granular fungicide. So you put it down over the lawn. You can water it in or let the rain water it in or whatever. And that will systemically control that rust on those leaves and get you in better shape. So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right, 541-776-5770 is the number to talk to Tim. That's the number directly to the studio here, 541-776-5770. Hi, Peggy. What's going on with your avocados?
Hi, good morning. I don't know. They're around the outer edges of the... Just a minute, I'm going to turn my radio down. It's confusing, isn't it? Hold on a second. Sorry. Around the outer edges of the leaves on the avocado plant, they're brown, and it's like they're dying from the outside in. And so, and eventually, I'll pull them off. I mean, I'll just touch them and they'll fall off. One plant succumbed already. And my other one is a big one. I've had it for about 4 years. But it's got some of that on it, too. And when I see it, I pull the leaf off. But because I thought, well, maybe that's spreading. I don't know what it is. Do you happen to know what it might be?
Well, usually when they start to die back from the edge in, that's usually a sign of an environmental stress of some sort. Whether it could be overwatering, underwatering, too much fertilizer, those kinds of things usually are what we see happening from the edge in. However, it's also sounding like there could be some fungus damage going on there too. Have you noticed any circular patterns in the leaves at all? Like when they die back, is it in more of a circular pattern, or is it just from the edges in?
No, it's from the outside. It's all around the outside edge of the leaf, and then it just kind of travels inward.
Okay, well, I would check your watering, make sure that you're allowing the top 2 inches of soil to dry out in between your waterings, and then if you've been fertilizing, you might cut back on fertilizing for a while and see if that helps. See if you get some fresh growth, and see if that changes things. If it continues to get worse or doesn't get any better, bring us some samples in a sealed plastic baggie, and we'll take a look at it in the store and see if there is a fungus going on there.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I appreciate that.
All righty.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Peggy.
Bye-bye.
All right, 541-776-5770 if you want to talk to Tim today and find out what's going on in the yard. And by the way, you're saying what to the lawn this weekend?
The Fertilum Classic.
Okay.
And the Natural Guard Soil Activator. Of course, the activator helps your lawn go through winter better. It also breaks down thatch and things like that. Getting those two things on now should be your last application for winter. So get that down, and then you're finished putting stuff on the lawn until February, end of February.
All right. Hi, Lisa.
Hi. I wanted to write down those two products. I got Fertilome Classic, and what was the other one?
Natural Guard Soil Activator.
Natural Guard Soil Activator.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I have a question. We have recently gotten some red grass growing in our lawn. It's really kind of thick, and it's red on the ends, and we're wondering what it is and how to get rid of it.
So it's just a different kind of grass, or this is happening to patches of your grass?
It's happening in patches.
Oh, the rust again, huh?
Yeah, well, there's another fungus called red thread, and red thread is also a fungus. That you can use the f-stop with that, but it's also a sign that you're not feeding properly. So you may want to increase your feeding. So by feeding, you can help that, and by applying the f-stop. But just to make sure, bring us a sample so we know for sure what's going on.
And apply what did you say?
F-stop. The letter F and then stop, kind of like a camera.
Okay, S and then stop, or?
F, like
Frank.
Yes.
Great. F-stop.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. I thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Righty.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. All right, 7765770 is the number if you want to get your name in the hat for this drawing for this beautiful potted plant of different flowers. And ask a question to Tim, because this is going to be a good weekend. Anything else we should be spraying? We got the lawn thing down. Dormant spray too early to?
No, it is great timing for dormant spray right now.
For like what?
Now, here's the thing. Things have changed dramatically in the dormant spray world.
Really?
And yes, and so they have pulled off the market our lime sulfur and said you can't have that anymore.
Oh.
So now all we have left is copper. But copper can only be applied in certain times on certain types of plants. So we have to be very careful with how we use it. And so the broadest application for your copper is right now.
Okay.
So if you have broadleafed evergreen, so a plant that has leaves and stays green through the winter, as opposed to a conifer that has needles. So a broadleafed evergreen, that can be sprayed with copper. So your photinia hedges that keep getting that mildew, spray them with the copper now. That will help them in spring. Laurels and rhododendrons, azaleas, all of those for leaf spot. The Indian hawthorns that get that leaf spot. Now's a great time for that. Fruit trees, all your fruit trees can get it. Your blueberries. We actually have a really, really good fruit tree or fruit care newsletter that we just sent out this week. It's our first one. If you didn't get one, and now it's an email one. So if you didn't get one, give us a call. We'll sign you up for that so you can get that, and we'll be resending to anybody who didn't get it next week. So a great little deal that tells you what to spray, when to spray, and how and what you're controlling, all the different diseases and things that you're controlling with that copper spray.
All right. Very good. All right. Again, Four Seasons Nursery out on Crater Lake Highway, open 9 to 5, at least this month, and then closed on Sunday starting in November. Hi, Sherry. What's going on with your Myers linen bush?
What's the best time to bring it inside? It just has to be brought inside?
Bring that in just before it freezes. So you want to leave them outside as long as you can, because they really take to the air movement and the light. And so I leave mine out sometimes one night too long, but as soon as it looks like we're going to have some frosty weather in the forecast, bring it in. So, okay?
Okay, and I've got lemons on it, and they never have grown any. since I bought it.
Well, how long have you had it?
Oh, I'd say about 2 or 3 months.
Okay, lemons take a long time to ripen and develop, so keep it in bright light, as much light as you can, and then be careful not to overwater. Overwatering will cause the fruit to drop, and you don't want to do that. So with those, again, probably the top 2 inches of soil should dry out between waterings. And then bring it in, and when you're bringing it inside, in a bright sunny window, and then put a little fan close by to keep the air stirred around it. Keeping that air moving around it will reduce all the problems from insects and diseases that attack those things. So it really, really cuts down on that and make it a lot better for your plant.
Okay, I have a lot of strawberry plants. When is the best time to move some of those?
I like to wait to do those until early spring, like March.
In March.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go February, March. You just don't want to do it when the ground's frozen. So.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Sherry.
All right. Thank you.
Alrighty.
You know, that's an interesting answer on that lemon tree, because I'm beginning to think ours is something wrong with it, because I think it's producing fruit that's half lime and half lemon.
Oh yeah.
It's green and yellow, and I thought, you know what, I'm overwatering this thing.
Yep, yeah, that's what's happening. And we see that a lot, because you want to treat them almost like a cactus through the wintertime. So just very little water, and they thrive. They do really, really well.
All right, I got to cut back on the water, because it's got some fruit on it, and I thought, well, it's not ripening. What's going on here?
Yeah, now typically those won't ripen until, for us, until sometime late November.
Really?
And yeah, so
it might be doing okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Hi, Patsy. Thanks for waiting. What's going on with your fig tree?
Well, we've had this fig tree for years, and we get a few figs from it. I'd like to dry some. I love dried figs, but maybe the season isn't long enough. And I can't tell you what kind it is, but it grows up from the ground, and then in the wintertime it freezes back down. And it has, we call it a bush because it has all these limbs out around it. Mm-hmm. And we cut them all back, and every year it does the same thing. This year I think we got 3 or 4 figs off of it.
Try not cutting it back. Just leave the branches alone, and hopefully it will leaf back out on those branches. That'll give it a bit of a head start. We have such a short season for figs, and so you want to give them every chance you possibly can to develop figs and to get them to ripen. So instead of trimming it back, leave it alone this year, and see if you get a better production next year.
Okay, we didn't cut it back this year, but it'll die back in the winter.
Yeah, it may die back a little bit, but you know, this last winter was so hard, many of them died back, even ones that had been in for 20, 30 years. But this year, we should have a little warmer winter, and you shouldn't lose anything with it this year. You can mulch it if you're kind of concerned about it, but hopefully it won't die back. If it does die back this winter, go for a different variety. You may have a variety that's just not very hardy for us.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Patsy. Okay, let's see here. Again, the phone number. Let me take a quick break. Tim Elbert's in the house from the Four Seasons Nursery. The number to talk to Tim and get your question in and get your name in the hat for this beautiful potted eclectic thing is 541-776-5770. Oh, I'm not even thinking. 541-776-5770. That's the number to talk to Tim Elbert. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Paula, and I work at theDove TV. Every day we get letters and emails from people who've been encouraged, blessed, and challenged by the programs on theDove TV. But we couldn't do it without you. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to bring inspiration and hope to our community by making a secure online donation at our website, thedove.us, or call us at 541-776-5368.
investigates the beliefs of many of the famous founding fathers concerning the proper role of
All right, we're
Christian
back with Tim
principles
Elbert from the
in
Four Seasons
education,
Nursery. They're out there on
government,
Crater
and the
Lake
public
Highway.
affairs of the nation.
Go out Highway 62,
America's
get off on
godly
Violet's Road, and
heritage.
you go up about
8
a half
o'clock
mile,
tomorrow
can't miss it.
on
It's
the
off to the
Dove
right. It's the
TV.
place with all the pretty flowers and the hanging baskets that are still gorgeous. I was driving down Pine Street in Central Point, and they're still beautiful.
Yep, Pine Street, those will still be up for a couple more weeks. Eagle Point will be coming down this next week.
Right. Wow,
So,
they're just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Anyway, the home of the Crater Lake basket, and also home of this, which is a pot of mums and what is these?
Violas.
Violas and this grassy thing. And he's going to give that away to somebody. So if you want to get your name in the hat, call and ask a question, 541-776-5770. And let's see here if I can get everything to work right. Hi, Sheila. Thanks for waiting. What's going on with your hydrangea?
Well, they just never bloomed, and I was wondering if there's something special you have to do for hydrangeas to get them to bloom.
Well, how long have you had it? How long has it been in the ground?
They're both in pots on my patio.
Okay.
And big pots, and I've had them for probably 3 years, and they've bloomed every summer until this one.
Until this one. Did they freeze down really hard this year?
Well, I'm sure they probably did with that.
Yeah, that might be the reason why they didn't bloom for you this year. If they're the old style of hydrangeas, then they only bloom on second-year growth. And so the growth has to be there for a full year before that will produce blooms the following year. So if that froze off and you had to cut it back, and then when it flushed back out, you got all first-year growth. And so it should bloom for you next year. Just don't do any major pruning on it.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, let's go to Carol. Hi, Carol. What's going on?
Well, I have a beautiful begonia that I have in the pot out in my backyard, and I wonder how can I winter that inside?
Oh, begonias are pretty easy to do indoors. So if you get that in a nice container and put it in a bright sunny window indoors, keep it a little bit drier than you would outside. Just water it like you would the rest of your houseplants, and it should do just fine. Now, it may start to stretch from not getting enough light, and it may not bloom really well, but you can always prune it back. It won't hurt it any. And once it starts to warm up a bit, you can take it right back outside.
Great. And I heard the last lady talking about hydrangeas.
Yes.
What kind of feed do they need?
Well, typically they just use an all-purpose. We use the Fertilome's tree and shrub food on those. And then you can adjust the flowers, the flower colors, by changing the pH of your soil. You can add some lime to help turn them pink, or you can add some sulfur. We use aluminum sulfate because the aluminum makes that really nice powder blue color. So the aluminum sulfate to turn them blue.
Okay, great.
All right.
Well, thank you, Tim. Have a great day.
Okay,
All right,
you too. Thanks, Carol.
You know what's fun too is with the hydrangeas is if you have several of them, give one a little bit of lime, give one other one a little bit of aluminum sulfate, and then give another one a lot of aluminum sulfate, and then watch the color changes in between them, and it's really fun. Yeah, you get some will be purple and some will be blue and pink and all kinds of crazy things with them.
There you go. All right, 23 minutes before they're by the way, if you want to talk to Tim, 541-776-5770. All right, hi Midge, what's going on with your rose tree?
It's really long and leggy, and it's banging on my front window. How far can I cut it back? Can I cut it, winterize it already?
I'm sorry, what kind of tree was it again?
Rose tree.
It's a rose tree.
Yeah, you can cut it back now. It won't hurt it any at all.
Okay, because we're getting a lot of wind in Talent.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
I was surprised.
It won't hurt at all. Go ahead and whack it back. It may start to flush some new growth out, but you're okay.
Okay, thank you.
All righty.
Should I take the leaves off? I heard somebody say you should take all the leaves off in the winter.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't do that yet. It still has some time left. In another month, yeah, go ahead and do that. But for now, allow what's left of the foliage to continue to produce carbohydrates for the plant through photosynthesis.
Okay.
So.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
God bless you
Paige.
guys.
Okay. All right, 541-776-5770. And Nancy, what's going on with your willow tree?
Hi. Well, I've got it's a black pussy willow shrub that's it's more than 5 years old, and it has never produced any of the little catkins. And I wondered, do I need to have a second one to cross-pollinate or something?
Nope. Boy, that's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know why it wouldn't. Maybe because they're black, you just don't see them.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know.
You know, if it's producing foliage, it should be producing the catkins as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, boy, that stumps me. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
it's gotten kind of big and rangy, so I'm thinking of cutting it way back, and I don't know, maybe that'll.
Yeah, that would
Kick-started.
definitely push lots of new growth, and that new growth is what's going to give you all of those special little catkins. But if you do it now, you won't have any for spring.
Yeah.
So the time to do it is summer, about
Okay.
June, and just go through and cut it way back, and then let it flush up all fresh growth.
Okay.
All right.
I will try that then. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Nancy.
Bye.
All right. 541-776-5770 if you want to talk to Tim. And somebody's going to win a beautiful flower pot full of all kinds of good things. Jim, what's going on with your hydrangea?
Well, we've got 3 nice big hydrangeas that bloomed really well all season. We enjoyed them quite a bit. Unfortunately, the deer got in there and they ate every single leaf off of my wife's hydrangeas. So we're kind of curious. Should we go ahead and cut them back or just let them go and wait for next year?
I would just say let them go. Leave them alone. They'll be fine. So they'll probably go into dormancy a little early, but I just leave them alone and let them flush up again next spring.
Okay, sounds great. That's what we'll do.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you. All right,
very
again,
much.
the number is 541-776-5770 if you got a question for Tim from the fourth season. A great weekend because the weather's going to be very cooperative, but looks like we're in that cycle. We're going to be in and out of some showers and rain and all of that. It's bringing a lot of things up from the ground that's green called weeds. I wouldn't panic because it'll freeze and they'll die back, right?
Some of them.
Are you spraying weeds?
Yes, yeah. We've been busy with weed control at the nursery and just got done last week doing some weed spraying at home. So some of these things are going to come up and they'll just sit there all winter and you'll get used to seeing them. And then all of a sudden in the spring, they will just shoot up and you'll go, where did that come from?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good idea to get them under control. Yeah, if they're coming up from seed now, get them under control.
Again, fourth season nursery open from 9 to 5 Monday. Well, 7 days a week, and then starting in November they'll be closed on Sundays. All right, so we got the lawn thing down. You're saying wax some roses, but not the magic formula yet. Rose trees, you said go ahead and whack them back because Peggy's. Some of them are still producing.
Yeah. Only if you have to. It's okay. But I would say we still have another month yet to go before you really need to start doing any real severe pruning on the roses. So, do the cleanup prune. I say around Thanksgiving. So, but if you have to, if you're, in that situation, it's banging up against the house, the wind's blowing, and you can go ahead and do some pruning on it and it'd be okay.
All right, before we take a break, back to my lawn, which is in need of repair. If I scratch it real good, throw some seed down, is it too cold for seed?
No. Our soil temperatures are still warm enough. We can get some good seed germination. But the longer you wait, the less chances of that coming up. So, yeah. So.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take your calls. And if you call in, come on now, get your name in the hat. Somebody's going to win. This is really good. Now, this will just grow, won't it?
Yeah, this will go all winter long. So this grass even stays through the winter. So
we got all kinds of color going on with this thing. Anyway, 541-776-5770 is the number to talk to Tim Elbert. 541-776-5770. 776-5770. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Daniel and I work at theDove TV. You know, compared to Portland, Seattle, and LA, Medford might be considered a small market, but at theDove, we're excited about the opportunity to make a big impact right here in our community. And you help make that happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us now by making a secure online donation at our website, thedove.us, or by phoning 541-776-5368.
Okay, we're back with Tim Elbert from the Four Seasons Nursery, and this is going to be a great weekend for you to do those last-minute yard things as the fall slowly moving into the winter season is upon us, and the weather's going to cooperate. We do see some colder temperatures, Tim, and rain in the forecast from Monday. So this is a good weekend to do a lot of stuff, in trimming and spraying and dormant spray and fertilizing the lawn. So when you call in, your name's going in the hat. Somebody's going to win this beautiful bowl of a pot full of violas, mums, and crazy grass. I guess, I don't know. It's really wild. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah, it's a neat one. They call that one green sedge because it's green. So they have an orange sedge that's orange.
Really, that's good.
And a blue sedge that's blue.
Really?
So yeah, so
Gee,
somebody got it right. So that's better than the Fertilome's names, you know, their stuff.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Hi, Kathleen. Thanks for waiting. You want to know about mushrooms?
Yes, I have some really pretty white mushrooms, not a lot, growing in my backyard. And so, are they poisonous to children and pets? And how do I get rid of them?
Most likely, yes, they are poisonous. Yeah, and generally, if you've got young...
I'm sorry.
Okay. Most likely, if you have young kids or pets, the best thing to do is to go out there and smash them down. And to keep them from coming back, add some lime to the soil to raise the pH. So you may have to put a bag or two of lime down in order to get that to stop.
Oh, thank you. Okay, can I do one more thing real quick?
Yes.
Sure.
I have a bunch of volunteer cherry trees from the seeds that dropped in my yard. Would they ever produce, or is it better just to pull them out?
Eventually, yes, they will produce. It can take several years, and they may not produce the same cherry that they came from, depending on what pollinated them. So it could be a cross between a couple of different cherries. You don't know. I would say it's best just to yank them out and forget trying. And that way, when you want a cherry tree, you can get the kind that you want. So.
Okay. Well, they came from my Royal Anne cherry tree, as I should have said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they may or may not be Royal Anne cherries, though, because it would depend on what pollinated them and the genetics between the two. So it's just like having kids, you know, they're never as good as their parents.
Oh, whatever.
My kids are going, Dad.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Kathleen. All right. Let's go to, let's see here. Got to get rid of, all right. Let's go to, hi, Carol. You got moss on the lawn?
Not at all. But let me tell you, there is so much moss on this section. Like you, I want to reseed it, but it's covered with moss. Do I have to kill the moss first? Do I need to put something on it to take care of that before I reseed, or can I just scratch it and reseed it?
Yeah, you want to get rid of the moss. The moss is just going to choke out that seed. So, yeah, you want to get rid of the moss. If you can rake it up and get rid of it physically, that's the best. If you can't, add some iron and some granulated iron, and that will get rid of it. So,
great.
Huh?
Great.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Now, the other thing is it's in a really shaded area, which is why there's moss, obviously.
Right.
But is there a specific grass seed that I should purchase for that?
Yeah, it's called Shade Mix.
Oh, hey, I got it.
Yeah, there you go. So now, if it is too shady, that won't even work. So if you get that in there and that doesn't work, consider just taking the lawn out of that area. Just fill it up with a ground cover or bark or something like that. If it's too dark, grass just won't grow. So it's just the way it goes.
It's on the north side. So
there you go.
You're probably right. All right. Thank you so much for your help.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Carol. All right, let's go to, let's see here. Laura, are you there?
Yes.
What's going on with your garlic?
Well, I'm just wondering, is it too late to plant it? I've never had a successful crop, and then how deep do I plant it? Or where would I buy the garlic to plant?
Okay. Well, it's not too late to plant garlic. My dad always told me, you plant garlic on the shortest day of the year, you harvest it on the longest day of the year. So you can plant it now. Of course, you can plant it now. Just don't tell my dad. So,
okay.
and you can plant it clear up into January, and you could still get a decent crop with it. What I used to do is I just go to the grocery store and I'd buy some garlic, and then I would take that home and I would take each clove and plant each clove and bury them about 2 inches down, and that produced tons of garlic for me. So it's as easy as that. If you're looking for specific varieties of garlic, you may have to mail order for that or call around. We don't have any garlic for planting, so I don't know who does.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, thank you. All right, 541-776-5770. We got a few moments left. If you want to give Tim a call and ask him a question, get your name in this beautiful, or in the hat for this beautiful potted flower here with a variety of flowers in it. And that's going to look pretty nice at your house by the front door. Can you put that inside?
Well,
okay, put that outside. Oh,
yeah,
for about an hour.
A couple of
put
days.
It back out.
Go back outside.
All right, and you got plenty of pansies still available for color. The mums, you say, are going fairly fast. Anything else?
The kale, yeah, and that's going kind of fast. Now there's some really nice heathers out there. This particular one turns bright orange in the winter. And it's kind of a golden yellow in the summer, and those are really pretty, and they're looking real colorful now. There's still some coral bells that have the colorful foliage, some in purple, some in green, some in orange and yellow, and every color under the sun, it seems. Okay. So those are really colorful and looking really good now too. So there's still some color, but boy, I'm telling you, if you want it, you better get it soon.
Okay. All right. Let's see here if we can get a couple more calls in. Hi, Christina. What's going on?
Yes, I just moved here from Tacoma, Washington. Then I have this. I bought a new house and a new yard, and the landscaper, he suggests me he will help me to. I want a garden, so he charged me $1,500. So give me 4 planters, but the soil is so poor, everything died.
Uh-oh.
So how can I condition the soil? Where should I buy the soil? I don't know how to do this.
Okay, well, start off by bringing us a sample of your soil so we can see what it's like, okay? And then we can see if you need to change it structurally. And then other than that, by adding some good fertilizer to the soil on a regular basis, you should be in good shape. So,
but I like to be kind of organic. I'm an organic person.
Yeah, well, we can use organic fertilizers. For that. We carry one by Espoma called Garden Tone, and it's just made for gardens. It's got all the natural microorganisms that your plants need, and it's an all-organic fertilizer. And you just put that in the soil when you're planting, and then top dress with that later on through the season. And your plants will grow fabulously well. But let's check that structure too. So bring me a sample in a plastic baggie. We'll check it out. We could even run some pH tests on it and see if you need to change that and everything. So bring it in. You'll just drop it off with your name and phone number. We'll get it tested and we'll call you back.
So I dropped at the Dove?
No, at the nursery.
Yeah, at the nursery. Yeah.
Which nursery?
Four Seasons Nursery.
Oh, Four Seasons. Okay. I just moved here, so I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Okay, Four Seasons Nursery. Do you have only one location, or how many locations you have? Because I know Portland, Oregon has 7 locations.
One location on Crater Lake Highway, just past Vilas Road.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, we can squeeze in one more. Hi, Ronnie. What's going on?
Hi, I was just wondering if it was too late in the season to go ahead and feed fruit trees, like baby fruit trees.
To feed them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't feed them now because they're going dormant. They're not going to use it. So it's not going to do a whole lot of good for feeding fruit trees now. Wait until about the end of March and then feed them right then, just as they start to break dormancy. That way you're not pushing them to break dormancy early, and that food is hitting them just when they need it the most.
Okay, great. Is there anything I can do to kind of prep them for the winter? Do I need to put down some kind of a, like leaves or something on the base or anything?
No, you want to make sure you clean up any foliage from around your trees and get rid of that, because that can help overwinter disease and insects and things like that can cause problems. So as the leaves fall off, get those cleaned up and hauled out of there. Keep the area under your fruit trees cleaned. If you've got grass or weeds under there, keep it cut down and nice and clean under there. And then the copper spray right now. Use the copper dormant spray. You can also use a horticultural oil spray for control of overwintering insects and insect eggs. But those would be the things I would do on your fruit trees now.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks, Ronnie. All right, we can maybe squeeze in one more if you hurry, 541-776-5770. And let's see, we're going to get a name here in just a moment out of the hat. All right, so we've done a lot of things here. What about the vegetable garden this time of year?
Well, of course, that's kind of winding down. So the summer stuff is on its way out. And if you've planted a fall garden, you're probably getting ready to harvest some of your fall stuff, maybe some cauliflower and cabbage. You've probably been harvesting some lettuce and things like that, some spinach. If you haven't gotten your fall garden in, you're probably too late for that now. So chances are, unless you have a way of covering your garden to keep it warmer through the winter and extend that on, there's probably not much you want to be doing as far as that goes.
Okay. All right. Well, any last minute tips as we got this wonderful weekend coming up, and if we're going to use your grass or lawn fertilizer suggestion and turf builder, and what else should we be doing?
Well, we talked about the dormant sprays, and I can't stress how important that is. Getting those dormant sprays on this time of year, and the timing for that is critical. So be sure that you're getting your dormant sprays on. If you don't get our dormant spray newsletter, here's another way you can get it. You can go to Facebook and you can like us on Facebook, and you can go to our Facebook page, and every time we put a newsletter out, it's posted on our Facebook. So if you've got Facebook and you really don't want the email, but you want that information, you can go and do it that way too, and you will get that information there. Or you can always come down to the nursery. We'll print a copy of it up for you and give it to you.
Okay. So, all right, buddy. Select a name. Somebody is going to win this. Beautiful. It's got mums, violas, and
grass.
Grass.
Legal grass.
Yeah, okay.
Ornamental.
Ornamental. Who is it?
It is Lisa.
Lisa. Congratulations, yes. Lisa. You're the winner. And so we'll make arrangements for you to get that. In the meantime, the nursery is open 9 to 5, and we'll be all through the weekend. And you got plenty of things to color up the yard or put some color in the pots at the front door and things like that.
Yep.
And most of the pansies now, they'll take the cold weather and they'll be okay.
Bloom right through this snow and ice, yes.
And they do. And by the way, your pansies are homegrown, right?
They are, in our own greenhouses, yes.
What size are they now?
Well, they're coming in jumbo packs, but they're really nice size, big old flowers on them.
They'll do fine, huh?
Yep, they'll do great.
Okay. Check it out at the Four Seasons Nursery. Go out Crater Lake Highway, get off on Violet's Road, hop over on the frontage road, just go up about a half mile. You can't miss it. You'll see all the beautiful flowers there. Look for Tim, look for Amanda, and who else is ever working there? Look for their dog.
Jim, Jeremy.
There you go. All right, we'll see you next time on Focus Today.
Hi, I'm Jim, and I work at theDove TV. Every weekday between 6 and 8 a.m., our award-winning news and sports team bring you the best morning show around. It's live, it's honest, and it's a whole lot of fun. and you help make it happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to air local programs that share your voice by making a secure online donation at our website, theDove.us.